Hello everyone, I'm Spencer and today we're talking about mountains. How do you measure the height of a mountain peak? Well, it turns out it's a pretty old process, but it's been made slightly easier with modern technology. The ancient Greeks provided the earliest and most accurate method to measure mountains. They used their technology to create a level surface and then find the angle from that surface to the peak of the mountain. They would then find the distance at which the peak disappeared on the horizon while they were out at sea. This process gave them a right triangle, which they used to solve for the height of the mountain. Other processes were later created, but none of them proved to be as precise as the Greeks' geodetic method. As the tallest mountain in the world, Mount Everest proved to be a challenging one to measure. The first official measurement of Everest was started by Sir George Everest and completed by Andrew Waugh. It took many years, but the height of Everest was eventually found to be 29,000 feet, plus or minus 26 feet. Interestingly though, Waugh was worried that people wouldn't believe him if he claimed 29,000 feet exactly, so he presented the final elevation of Everest to be 29,002 feet so that his measurement would appear more precise and believable. Everest was measured using the same basic trigonometry that the ancient Greeks used. Waugh and his team measured the angle between surrounding peaks and Everest, and then measured the horizontal distance between them. By repeating this process over many years, they were able to calculate Everest's height. Their accomplishment was especially impressive because they weren't permitted to directly approach Everest, so most of their measurements had to be taken from over 100 miles away. Nowadays, we still use triangles to measure mountains, although we can do it quicker and more accurately with satellites. GPSs are placed at the top of mountains and they transmit signals to satellites. The location of the satellites is always tracked to a high level of precision. So when the satellite returns a signal to the GPS receiver can take the time it took to return that signal and convert it into a distance. By measuring the distance from 4 or more satellites, the GPS can calculate a precise location and altitude. Mountain elevations are given as values above sea level, but the sea is always changing and Earth isn't a perfect sphere, so how is this an absolute measurement? Well, scientists have distinguished two important datums, the ellipsoid and the geoid. The geoid is a mathematical representation of mean sea level measured locally, and the ellipsoid is a much smoother model of sea level around the world. Orthometric height can be calculated by subtracting geoid height from the ellipsoid height. This is the true elevation of a mountain that we are used to. Mountains are always growing and shrinking, so they're constantly being measured. Recently, it was announced that Everest has grown to an elevation of 29,032 feet. And just in case you were wondering, that does not include the 11 feet of snow and ice on top. Thanks for watching.